God almighty, has something happened to you? Did someone steal your fancy clothes?
So what do you think about the workers I brought you?
If I hadn't put in a good word for them, the miller would have thrown them out by now.
I heard them say something else.
So they're complaining, are they? I provide for them, and all they do is slack off.
Isn't it the miller who provides for them?
He can't manage the work anymore. If it weren't for me, there'd be nothing left standing around here.
But you need the help anyway, and they're pretty handy.
Maybe, but they're in no danger of overworking themselves. They act like they're too good for the mill, and I saw them eyeing up Jane.
Nothing strange about that. She's a pretty girl, and she's of an age to marry.
It's not marriage they've got on their minds. They'd have their way with her, then before her belly started to grow, they'd have run for the hills.
Look, we can reach an agreement. You need the mill fixed, they need the money. If they have peace to do their work, they'll be able to finish it faster.
But...
And then they'll take their groschen and leave. The mines will open again, and the faster they get their money, the quicker they'll be gone.
But do you really think I can trust them to do it? Will they do their work and leave? And leave Jane alone in the meantime?
Of course. They're not interested in the mill. They just need the coin to pay their debts. Once they've got enough, they'll have no reason to stay here.
I never thought we could sort it out this way.
I've known them for a long time, and you can rely on them when it comes to this. Everybody will be better off.
All right. If they keep their part of the bargain, I'll even give them a few extra groschen. But woe betide them if they don't. You can tell them that. Good luck then.
Jesus, what have you been up to?
It took some doing, but I made a deal with him.
I'm glad to hear it. So we can stay here? He'll leave us be?
He'll leave you alone, but there are conditions. Once you finish your job, you'll vanish from here. But you'll get an extra groschen or two for your troubles.
And that's it? I thought... Never mind.
Oh, and you're to stop dallying with the miller's daughter. Keep on mucking about with her and you'll muck things up for yourselves.
The fucking bastard. He can go fuck himself. He'd better give us enough groschen to make it worth it. But I suppose I should thank you. You may have bought us some peace and quiet, and that's better than nothing. Here's something for your help. God be with you.
God be with you.
Yeah. 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 Henry, come here. What's happening?
Like I said, maybe you might help me out.
It wouldn't by any chance have to do with the ring I got for your brother?
Ha! How did you guess?
Put it down to my amazing powers of deduction?
So, are you gonna get it for me? It won't be easy, mind. Jan thinks I might try to steal it. The mistrustful bastard.
All right. Why the hell not?
Great. Best thing is just to pinch it. He watches me like a hawk. But you...
Oh, shit. They're the ones who owe a pile of coin, and that's why...
I got the ring.
Brilliant. Jan will have a fit. Here, have this for your trouble. You've earned it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
My God. Good luck then.
Yeah.
Rare merchandise from all over the world.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I can't go any further. The current could sweep me to my death.
Yeah.
Greetings, good night.
Here's your beer recipe.
Wonderful. Here's your reward.
Any chance of a nice little earner for me?
Not so much for you as for me, but you can help me out. The Sasso cobbler's been making some fancy boots, and he's been given spurs from their lordships to add to them. I'm after those spurs.
Won't that get the cobbler in trouble? Losing their lordship's spurs, just like that?
And is that any of our concern? No, it isn't.
You can count on it. I'll be right back.
Just don't get yourself caught. See you later.
Yeah. Shame I can't swim. Yeah!
God be with you.
I looked around, and the stone that fell on that man is different from the rest.
Yes, it's very poor. But we have to work with what we've got. We didn't have anything else, and we couldn't wait for more.
That's not what I meant. It's not the same kind of stone that came from Talmberg. Someone must have switched it.
But why would anyone do that?
Well, maybe he was stealing new stone and replacing it with old stuff. Or to sabotage the construction, I don't know.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I'm glad to see.
Here's any. What?
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Damn it! I wish I was able to swim.
Yeah. Yeah.
God be with you.
Has anything else unusual happened?
I can think of a couple of things. When we were extending the
A skull with.
I don't.
What about the second? And that's unusual.
Somewhat.
The skull is a fake. Someone.
But where would they get a human skull? And why would they do it?
Maybe to frighten the workers? Raise the price?
But that wouldn't help anyone. It had to be some idiot's idea of a prank. An idiot who was nearly responsible for getting a man killed.
I looked around, and the stone that fell on that man is different from the rest.
Yes, it's very poor.
That's not what I'm...
But why would it?
Well, maybe he was stealing new stone and replacing it with old stuff. Or to sabotage the construction, I don't know.
But the carriage never moved. It rained a lot and we couldn't get any work done, or we'd have been up to our ankles in mud.
So, someone had to take it out without being seen.
That huge piece of rock. It would take a few strong men to shift something that size. I know you're trying to help, but someone would have noticed. It couldn't be done without anyone seeing it.
Your apprentice is behind it all, Master Builder.
What?
Leszek told me the skull was Zmola's idea, and he was responsible for the bad stone, too, and even worse things.
Good God. Why would the lad do that? I always took good care of him and... Jesus Christ.
God be with you.
Yeah!
Yeah.
I better not go any further. I might drown.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Hey, what the? Clear off.
Yeah.
Sucker. It's hellishly deep here.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
A shame I can't swim.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
God save.
Here are the spurs from the cobbler.
Beautiful. I'll get a good few groschen for them. Here's your share. God be with you.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I've got good news, sir. The source of the problem was inside the monastery. There was nothing more to it.
And the construction?
We'll continue. The master builder's helper was to blame for everything. With him out of the way, the work will run smoothly again.
That's good. You've accomplished your task admirably, Henry, and I should reward you for it.
Thank you, Sir Divish.
God be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Getting desperate now.
Why's that, for the love of God?
You know what my old man is like. Nothing ever good enough for him. Always.
Master Bailiff, this can't go on.
Oh, you've got yourself all worked up. Is there a problem?
I should say so. Things have been quiet for so long we've rested on our laurels. But the enemy never sleeps.
What do you mean?
I mean, there's still vermin in these woods. The two-legged kind. There's humans wandering around like they own the place. There's not enough men in the garrison. They're falling asleep on duty. All it takes is for some band of cutthroats to come back looking for some stash they've buried here, and we're done for.
You reckon we need more men? But where would I find them?
Sir, we can manage without a few woodcutters or farmhands, but men-at-arms are essential. Give me a few men, and I'll make soldiers of them.
Unfortunately, we can't slow down the building work.
Just wait till the worst happens. Then you'll remember my words.
I want to build...
Sir? We've already finished everything successfully.
I'd like to build the rat house.
Very well. Come along with me. Once we're there, I'll oversee the building, so they don't botch anything.
We're gonna build here?
Yes.
I'm ready.
I'll just quickly check it. We've still got the means.
I want to build something.
Certainly.
Nah, I'd rather not build it. I want to build something.
Certainly.
Nah, I'd rather not build.
We've met before, haven't we?
Come to think, yes, we have.
So, you know how it goes. The bet is 5 groschen. I'll give you a riddle.
That sounds good. Let's do it.
Pay close attention. There was once a merchant who had a magic pouch. When the merchant put 1 coin in it and waited overnight, he found 2 coins in it the next day. So, he waited until the following morning, and lo and behold, there were now 4 coins. And the morning after that, after 60 days, the pouch was completely full. My question's this. In how many days would the pouch have filled up if the merchant had put in 2 coins instead of 1 on the first day?
$59.
That's right. It may seem that the pouch will fill in only half the time, but in fact, you will save only the first day, when the 1 coin multiplied to become 2. Well, what can I do? Here's your 10 groschen. Spend them as best you can. Maybe we'll meet up again sometime.
We may well do so. Thank you.
Yeah.
Stay away from people if you can't ride a horse.
Greetings.
I'd like to enroll in the big tournament.
Come tomorrow morning to the upper castle court, and don't forget to...
I'd like to enroll in the...
Come tomorrow morning to the upper and don't forget to...
Welcome,
Take care.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Good. Can I sleep?
Sir, for how long?
How about if I...
No problem.
Since...
You...
Do you know if there's a...
Could be. It might not be to your liking, though, on account of it's the executioner who's looking for someone. At least that's what I've heard. Of course, folk here don't want to have anything to do with him. Only the more they avoid him, the more they gossip about him. And that's not all. Sir Hanush is convening the Ratai tourney again at... You can still enroll.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Hey! God be with you, lad. What can I do for you?
I delivered the things as you asked.
I already know. My spies told me everything. She was wearing the necklace this morning, as I asked in the letter.
So you'll go to the rendezvous with her?
Certainly not. I'm not going to pounce on her like a bull in rutting season. Her feelings must be allowed to mature gradually. Meanwhile, you'll get a potion for me.
I thought you didn't believe in witches' brews.
This is no witch's brew. It's an absolutely tried and tested elixir called Musk of Infinite Allure. There's a fellow in Sasau who sells it, and he guarantees its success.
Musk of Infinite Allure? Sounds irresistible. All right, I'll try and get it for you.
I'm sure I can rely on you. Here's some coin for your costs. God be with you. A tankard of ale for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What do you need?
How are you holding up?
In a nutshell, it's a shitty job. But at least no one bothers me, seeing as how they don't want to be seen talking to me. Take care. See you later.
Why so miserable? Nothing's gone right today.
Greetings. Good luck then.
Do you know anything about getting rid of wandering souls?
The wrestler's dead? I might know a bit about that. It depends who wants to know. I wouldn't want to be accused of heresy.
Oh, come now, Konyash. You helped me once before, so I'd like to ask you for something again.
Fine, you're right, Henry. I won't lie to you. I'm interested in occult teachings and a bit of alchemy. It's far more than just old wives' tales. I truly believe it's a science. So what exactly do you need?
To help a village woman from Ledechko. Her neighbour's ghost has been haunting her. He visits her every night.
You don't say. Now this is interesting. Revenants, spectral beings, cursed souls from beyond the grave?
Yes, exactly. Her house is haunted.
To put it vulgarly, my lad, to put it vulgarly. But there are spells that can banish restless souls back to the realm of the beyond.
Now that's what I wanted to hear. And do you know the spells?
Well, I'd like to learn at least one. But the only book I know that contains them has been classified amongst the Libri Prohibiti.
I've no idea what that means.
The spell's written in a forbidden book. A book that's in Latin and kept under lock and key in the monastery. It's called Liber de Mortuis, Necronomiconos. Do you need to know any more?
Do you want me to steal the book?
If you want to get rid of that revenant, you have no other choice. When you bring me that book, we can cast the spell together, since you don't know Latin.
Fine. I'll bring the book.
You'll find it in the monastery library. But it won't be easy to get in. Truth be told, I don't know of anyone who is able to break in and out without getting into big trouble.
I'll try.
God be with you.
Good luck to you.
Flour, egg, salt, yeast. Let it bake.
Yeah.
What's up, Kuno?
It's about that accursed ring.
What, again?
Aye. I heard the fellas had you running around for them. You mustn't let them take advantage of you. Anyway, it's all gotten a bit out of hand. I wanted to raise morale, but instead I've got them at each other's throats.
Yeah, true enough. But what do you want me to do?
I want you to get the ring from Petter and bring it to me. I can't just take it back, see? I'd lose their trust. Besides, Petter's hidden it somewhere. He won't be willing to give it up.
All right. But I hope this is the last time. I'll bring you the ring and the game's over.
Don't worry, I've done with this game. In future, I'll just buy the fellas a drink now and again. Let them play their own games.
Look here, Petter. About the ring I gave you.
Yeah? What about it?
I need to have it back.
Well, that's tough. And don't think you can pinch it from me. I've got it well hidden.
Come on. It's not playing the game if you go and hide it somewhere.
Fair enough. All right, I'll give you a clue. Steeples guard the fields in a line. On one of them, across, you'll find. Off you go from east to west. Find the steeple. That's your test.
Good heavens. Did you just make that up?
Sure I did. Didn't know I was a poet, eh?
What can I say? I'm flabbergasted. And confused.
Good. Work it out if you can.
Supposing I take it from you fairly. At dice, maybe?
Ah, you know me too well, Henry. Fine. We can play for it. As long as you can put up a decent wager.
Fine. Let's play.
That's what I like to hear.
good. Finally, there'll be peace around here. And listen, I won't invite you for a drink, since it's not the right occasion. But I've got something special for you.
Thank you kindly. I'd been to see Sir Radzig.
So how did he take the news?
Well, he wasn't exactly happy about it.
I can well imagine. I wouldn't want the Zul's plundering my estates either. If I had any.
He wants us to carry on patrolling the area. There's nothing else for it.
We'll do that. But it will soon be too dark for patrolling, Henry. Come at first light.
Sure. I'll do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Someone there.
Well, well, who have we here?
Ah, the prodigal son returns. I knew you'd come back to me one day.
Let me guess. You saw it in a dream?
I knew you were going to say that.
But I had a divine revelation. That next time I won't be around to pull you out of the shit.
Oh, well, I am sorry. But these things are sent to try our fortitude in the face of adversity.
I'd like to try your fortitude. I've heard you know of some irresistibility potion or whatever it is.
Ah, naturally. Musk of infinite allure. An age-old recipe, maybe even older. Tested by Moses himself.
Moses?
How do you think he managed to get his people to follow him through the desert for 40 years? It's extremely potent.
Yeah, so it would seem. How much do you want for it?
Who do you take me for? The wisdom of the ancients isn't something that's bought and sold in the marketplace. Did Jesus charge for his miracles? But since you ask, how about this much?
What? That much? You're a crook.
As King Solomon said, honesty is for those who can afford it. If you like, I can mix the elixir for you in exchange for a small favor.
Oh, not again.
Now, is that any tone to use with your master? For shame.
Apologies, Master. I was carried away by my thirst for knowledge.
I understand your impatience, but the way to wisdom is narrow and arduous.
And leads out the window. So what is it you want from me now?
Ah, my dear apprentice, everything's gone to the devil. I'm living from hand to mouth, sleeping on straw, and the local peasants won't buy from me. They say they don't trust me, as if I were some kind of charlatan. Can you believe it? Does this look to you like the face of a swindler? I'm an honest trader in sacred goods, whose only concern is the welfare of troubled souls. And any time now the slanderous gossip will spread here from Sasau. I should leave before things get worse. But I can't go anywhere until I've made a bit of coin. So what's needed is to give the locals a bit of encouragement, to open their hearts and purses.
I'm not going to go around beating people for you.
What do you take me for? I wouldn't hurt a fly. Violence is for the dull-witted. We must gently demonstrate to them the necessity of buying my remedies. For example, to ward off a revenant.
Revenant? What revenant?
Well, the dead, returned from the grave. A corpse that the soul is unable to depart from, which wanders among the living, filled with rage at its wretched fate.
Yeah, I saw something like that once. But it was just some drunk going home from the tavern after losing all his money at dice.
Don't make light of such things. Now tell me, do you know how to deal with a revenant?
A wooden stake through the heart?
That's more a remedy for vampires and other bloodsuckers. You are my trained apprentice, but the ignorant villager is entirely at a loss how to deal with such dark forces. It is our sacred duty to prepare them for such threats.
And how do you propose to do that?
Well, they're all doubting Thomases. They need proof. We'll need a grave, an empty grave that we can use. There's one along the way to Sasau, but it's got one minor shortcoming.
What's that?
Well, it's not entirely empty.
Not entirely? What does that mean?
You have to dig it up first.
Why this particular grave?
The locals don't like to talk about it, so it's surely got some sinister past behind it. And in places like that, revenants sprout up like mushrooms after rain.
Well, if that's how it is, we could open old wounds. That could easily set people against us. Again.
Then it would be best if no one could connect us to it, wouldn't it?
I'll need a spade then.
Yes. Dig it up and remove the remains, leaving no trace.
And what am I to do with the remains?
Keep them. Human remains are always handy to have around.
Great. And how do we spread the word of this revenant?
There's a gossip in every village. Here, too, a woman who'll spread news quicker than a dozen messengers on the fastest steeds.
And what am I to tell this gossip?
All you have to do is casually mention the empty grave, and before evening, I'll wager the whole village will know about it.
Where does this woman live?
The last house on the left, on the road to Sasau. She was the first person I met here, and by the time I reached the village green, I already had a mob looking suspiciously at me. The rumor-mongering fishwife.
And that's all?
Not quite. You should ask her who was buried there. So we've got a story to work with.
So, dig up the grave, talk to the gossip.
And the remains. Don't forget to remove them. Otherwise, no one will believe in the Revenant.
I might have known any task for Capon would turn into some insane escapade. Grave robbing. Jesus. Where do I go?
That's easy. As soon as you go indoors, at the end... God be with you.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
God be with you, good wife. Has something happened here?
Heavens no. It's quiet here, unlike some other places.
And what about that empty grave?
What empty grave would that be now?
The one beyond the village, alongside the road to Sasau. Just by the river, on the Pine Headland.
How would you know it's empty? Unless it was dug up.
Oh, it's dug up, all right. Freshly. And empty. I saw it with my own 2 eyes.
Lord in heaven, what in the name of...
How come it's not in hallowed ground, anyway? Only unrepentant sinners are buried like that. Usually.
I don't like to say. It's an old wound that's best forgotten.
Whose grave is it?
Well, once a long time ago there was a young charcoal burner living here with his wife. There was always a lot of charcoal burners here, but this fellow worked alone. That's not an easy job for one man.
Well, no one wanted to work with him, or what?
Ah, he was a hard-headed fellow who always wanted to take care of his family himself.
Well, I can understand that. It's always better to work for yourself than break your back for someone else.
His wife was expecting, though no one knew it yet. And he wasn't doing well at all. Soon enough they had nothing to eat. And so he took to thieving.
Well, thieving is wrong.
Aye, but when there's a child on the way and your wife hasn't the strength to get out of bed for the hunger, well, you ought to think differently.
And did he get caught?
Well, at first it was just a few eggs going missing from people's hen coops. But then it was anything that wasn't nailed down. And in the end, they caught him.
And I suppose he was harshly punished for it.
Even then he didn't let on why he was doing it. They whipped the skin off his back and banished him from Ledetchko.
So justice was done then?
It wasn't enough for some folk. When the butcher found out he'd never get any compensation, he wanted them to chop off the charcoal burner's hands. If the bailiff hadn't talked sense into him, he'd have done it himself with his cleaver.
Well, he got off lightly enough then.
And in the end, he got what was coming to him, and more.
The butcher caught up with him?
No. It was the mills of God turning slowly but surely. His wife bled to death in childbirth, and the child died with her.
God have mercy on their souls.
Amen.
Nothing could have been done to save them.
There was no one there. He had no one who would care for his wife. They say on that day he parted ways with God forever, and he turned his back on the village too. I reckon he never forgave himself, nor us either.
The Lord moves in mysterious ways. But how did he end up?
Don't ask me that, lad. I beg you.
Come now, good wife. You can't leave the story unfinished.
I said no. Will you let it lie?
Good health to you.
I know who was buried in that grave. A young charcoal burner.
So begins the tragic tale of the young charcoal burner who became entangled with the devil himself.
Oh, don't start. What devil? I'm trying to tell you. He was from Ledetchko. He was trying to eke out a living for himself and his wife, but he couldn't manage. When she fell pregnant, he took to stealing.
Pride drove him from the straight and narrow path, and soon he sold his soul to the devil to fill his stomach.
They caught him and punished him, but some of the people he'd robbed didn't think it was enough. Then when his wife died in childbirth, and the child too, he blamed everyone for it. Even God, apparently.
But when the time came to pay his debt to hell, the devil had no use for his soul, and took his wife and child instead. the charcoal burner cursed God, who struck him down in righteous vengeance. But the dead man's soul never left his body. He came back as a revenant to vent his rage at God and men and take vengeance on the living.
Jesus, did you listen to what I said at all?
Sorry, did you say something?
Oh, never mind. What do you want me to do with it?
The question is, what would the revenant do to get revenge on the villagers? Well, apprentice?
He was stealing food from people, right? So, supposing he started again.
We should steal from people? Disgraceful. Have you no shame?
Maybe just a few eggs from hen coops, like the gossip mentioned.
Well, that wouldn't be too serious a sin. Will they put it down to the revenant, though?
They would, if I put some charcoal there instead.
And their nourishment he turned into ash.
The gossip mentioned the butcher. It seems he was infuriated that the charcoal burner's punishment was too lenient.
And the revenant spoiled their meat with his malign touch.
How's that?
Spoiled meat is a classic example of a revenant's power.
Huh. I thought it was the work of bad butchers.
That too, sometimes.
So, I should switch the good meat for bad at the butcher's. What about the butcher woman?
What about her?
Well, her conscience is still troubled on account of her man, and she feels haunted. This won't help her much.
What's that got to do with you?
Well, I want to help her.
All right, if you can find some other solution, you don't have to switch the meat. But I wouldn't worry about her. But make sure it's the same kind of meat. Not even a revenant will turn a cow into a chicken.
What about his wife and child? No doubt he'd want to avenge their death.
Well, how did they die?
In childbirth.
And when his love turned to rage, the water turned to blood. Nothing too original, but it's tried and tested. If you do it at the baths, everyone will hear of it.
How am I supposed to do that? It might be a bit suspicious if I'm seen walking around with a pail of blood.
No problem. There's a certain potion that will do the trick easily.
He cursed God. That's very serious.
What is it that most brings God to mind?
They don't have a church there. But everyone will have a rosary. I can't think of anything else.
That's it! If folks start losing their rosaries, they'll have sleepless nights over it.
You want me to steal rosaries? But that's...
Or just exchange them.
For what?
For nothing.
Great.
So, switch eggs for charcoal, switch the meat, color the water in the baths, and switch the rosaries. That ought to do it. I hope so. Of course, if you come up with anything else, don't let me hold you back. Talking to people might give you ideas. Traders, the bailiff.
What if someone sees me in the act?
They mustn't. Otherwise, it'll end up like Sasau all over again. Don't draw attention to yourself, or they'll put two and two together.
Sure. I'll keep my head down. And how will I know if I've succeeded? I doubt it'll be announced on the market square.
I'll be the first to know. They'll come running to me for a remedy, like hens at feeding time. Off you go and raise hell.
Right, I'll get to it.
Good luck then.
What about the dead man's remains?
You still have them?
No, you said to keep them. What do I do with them now?
I'll buy them from you.
What on earth for?
The bones of a revenant. Those can be valuable goods. What do you say?
I think I'd rather bury them.
You could. But what a waste. Imagine the power they could have.
At least the poor wretch will have peace at last.
Maybe. As long as you bury him in hallowed ground. Otherwise, you're wasting your time.
Like in Ratai, maybe?
Well, that's probably the nearest. That gossip-mongering crone would know.
True, I could ask her.
If you must. But for heaven's sake, don't even hint to her what you're up to.